Good morning. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for people who actually watched the video. I know my prescribers don't watch much, but that's okay. There's education here coming from lived experience. Um, just share it. Just share it, please, because it might help someone who can't help themselves. I've just did a podcast on. I just did a podcast last weekend, and hopefully it comes out this weekend. Just telling my story about my time in domestic violence, where I was the perpetrator, um, which wasn't a good place to be. But there was lack of control of my emotions and thoughts, especially my thoughts, because then it affected my emotions. But I did find during the interview, um, it's called Unbreakable Voices with Karen Monwell and Chelsea. Um, it's it. I just found out because Chelsea mentioned when I mentioned about my rejection with in the past through relationships earlier on as a young coming up to be an young adult. It's called RSD, and it means rejection, sensitive dysphoria. It's a condition characterized by intense emotional pain, so it's your emotional pain, and sensitivity to rejection, criticism, and perceived failure. So what happened to me was with the rejection, I really took it really hard, and it didn't stay. It didn't sit too well with my emotions. So you're constantly thinking, why me? You just stoop in a lull, and then you just up, and it affects your emotions and from the past. So moving forward to my relationship where I actually did all my what do you call it, perpetrating. Um, it, it it just made sense to where my possessiveness came from, and it was more or less the fear of losing, um, the fear of losing, or keeping trapped, keeping her trapped, not wanting that rejection again. So yeah, as a perpetrator, um, for me, my one of my biggest thing was my control of my thoughts, because it, you know, was she with someone else, or was she texting someone behind my back? All those little petty things, but it's part of the thinking you have when you're possessive, when you're a possessive person. And there's that fear as well of not the fear of keeping that relationship going. So you end up being that possessive where she's like, oh, what the fuck have I got myself into? Sorry about the swearing, but it becomes a prison. She got caught. It's just where did the love go? It just, you suppress the love. You squeeze every bit of goodness out of your love, and all you're left with is just a dead relationship. No feelings towards each other, and it's not just a male thing. It's both. Um, jealousy. It's a thing, but once you understand where it starts from, then you can start helping people. So I'm fortunate. I'm fortunate that I had to look back at my my ADHD my past relationship with my partner, which she allowed me to apologize, to understand myself. She allowed me still that time and presence to actually communicate with her, which really helped me. But to understand where someone who is in that space of being possessive towards a partner, it's you really have to step back as a partner. You really have to go away, because the person who's perpetrating, they're mentally sick. With my experience, my thoughts became the truth. So I was believing what I was thinking, which is and the emotions that come along with the thoughts. It's a terrible place, and I wouldn't wish it upon anyone who goes through the domestic violence that perpetrators like myself previously, did. And so my thing is to talk to people about it, because just open up, because it's you can get help. I had to get help. I'm fortunate. I'm lucky to be me today, but I did take the steps to get help. And there was a lot of blaming other people for my mistakes, but it was more or less that that fear of losing someone that you've been rejected previously in the past. But life is better now. It's all about the changes. Make changes, because when you're possessive, man, you that emotion, all your emotions are not channeled. That they just, especially when you have ADHD, it's just you have no. I just had that word, but you have no control over your emotions, because your thoughts or your mind, emotions override that. So when you're in a situation where you someone is just going off, it's hard to control that situation. And alcohol, it just makes it 10 times worse. But if you are possessive, if you are a jealous person, go back to the day where you first met her or him. That was, you can still have that, but you need to control yourself. You need to control your thoughts, especially, because once you think negatively, then your emotions, your negative emotions come with that, and then it's just, then your accusations, and you start accusing your partner of this and that, and it's like, man, they gotta come home and you gotta school that, you gotta ask them questions before you walk in the door, like, where were you? Why are you doing this? Who are you talking to? Why are you looking at that person? That's the type of people. I mean, I was once like that. I'm not in a relationship now, and I still. You still fear of going back in a relationship because you don't want that to happen again. But understanding, they're doing work. I'll just be quick. But understanding being a possessive person, you can come out. You can come out. You You don't have to be possessive all the love is there still, but she or he just waiting for you to change or snap out of it. So there's work going on, so I'll stop this video. But yeah, for those who are possessive and jealous of their partner, snap out of it. It's not worth it. It's not worth it, because you'll end up losing your partner, and then you might lose your mind, and then your control of your life. You might dip into the addictions. So just from me to you, change the way you think, and change the way you love someone. If you love them that much, change. You can't just be you and not expect. A relationship is 50-50, not 80-20. So that's just my call anyway. So I hope you can take out stuff from this video. And if you know someone who's possessive, or reach out in the comments, or to say you know someone, and then we can make contact. And I'm not an expert. I am an expert because I was there. So yeah, time to change, people. Alright, peace out. Love.